Move, bruh.
Connor, move.
Tell you, sit on him. He's like, oh shit. He stood straight up. No, it's my face.
Welcome back to our channel. So today we have a... Stop breathing so hard.
No, go to sleep.
We have Connor here.
Connor,
He's trying to act up.
I will embarrass you in front of people.
Alright, so today we are here with a story time video.
Story time. Story time.
Story time.
So, what story time means is we take a period in our lives and we decide to share the story of what really happened. Get it?
Get it?
Get it?
Okay, so for this particular story time, we are going to talk about when we first got married and were broke.
Broke, bruh.
Broke.
Oh my God.
And what happened, and like, there's a story behind the brokenness.
Yeah.
So, let's get to it.
Alright. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was 2010.
2010.
It was a nice, warm, I don't know. Pretty much we just got married. I'm starting with just getting married, right?
Start with the honeymoon?
Yeah, starting with the honeymoon.
Yeah, start with the honeymoon.
So, it was 2010, October the 24th. We were leaving to go to Vegas. That was our honeymoon destination. And we had we had buddy passes.
Yeah,
to go to Vegas.
Let's see. The reason why, like, we let's see. Our wedding, we had a small budget for our wedding. We weren't like trying to go all crazy and stuff like that, because it's about the marriage, not the wedding. And then, you know, back then we didn't have like Instagram like that, so we didn't have no Instagram influences and all of that.
We had no pressure.
We had no pressure. Even
we weren't trying to impress
nobody. But our wedding was nice. And we did have a nice amount of people, like 150.
Dang.
Yeah. So we did have a nice wedding. It was 150 and all of that. But we didn't want to, you know, we were paying for our honeymoon. So we was like, all right, we going to do this. I had a client was like, girl, I can hook you up with some buddy passes.
I was like, where?
And back then, 6 years ago, buddy passes were still good. Now, buddy passes have gotten worse and worse. Like, you don't want to be on a buddy pass because you'll just be stuck.
Yeah. So we literally, we board our plane. Well, no, we didn't board the plane. We go to the airport. And I remember with us getting there, we're thinking, okay, well, our plane's supposed to leave out at this time. And we went to go get on.
And it was like, because we left. Our wedding was a Saturday evening. We, some friends of ours, they gifted us a hotel room close to the hotel. So
to the airport.
Yeah.
You got a hotel room close to the hotel. It definitely was close to the hotel.
Shut up. They hosted us. It was a hotel room close to the airport.
Yeah.
So the next morning we got up, we went to the airport. So we had an early flight, but it was Sunday, and Sunday is a
very
busy fly time, you know.
Yeah.
And back then we didn't know. We were in our early 20s. We didn't really travel like that. So we didn't know.
Shoot, that's the second time I've ever been on a plane.
Yeah. So
and that's the truth.
So yeah, so it was busy. So we spent a little bit of time in the airport.
A lot of time. We were there for a minute.
A hot minute.
And then they said, "Hey, bing.
We can get you on a flight.
But
you're gonna go to Milwaukee."
Say what?
What?
No, what's in Milwaukee?
We can get you on another flight to a connecting flight in Milwaukee to Vegas. Our honeymoon was in Vegas.
Yeah, so literally was like, all right, well, we've been in this airport for some hours.
We getting on this flight.
Because Milwaukee was at night.
It wasn't late though.
But it was, because we got to the airport, it was like early.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were going to be leaving out early, but we didn't. We went to Milwaukee later.
Yeah.
So it was some hours.
Yeah.
And then after being in Milwaukee, then we had to wait another however long.
I think it was just an hour. And it was an hour layover. And then we got into Vegas maybe, I want to say, like 11 o'clock that night.
Yeah. So this is where the fun happens. So we get to Vegas, get the shuttle. It's like literally, we've been at the airport from sun up to now. We just got in Vegas and it's nighttime.
Sundown, yeah.
So,
okay, so first let me tell you about the hotel in Vegas. I went to Vegas once before, and I was like, okay, this is nice. You know, when I went to Vegas once before, I went for a wedding, and we stayed at the Luxor. But with the Luxor, I didn't want to stay there because I just didn't want to. So I looked for another hotel, one preferably without a casino at the bottom, because the cigar smoke bothers me. Like, it gives me a headache and all of that. So the MGM Signature, which is behind the MGM Grand, they do not have a casino at the bottom. You can just exit out of the hotel and just go straight to the street. Or it has a connecting bridge or whatever that goes to the MGM Grand as well. So I did look online for deals and all of that, but I ended up finding a deal directly through the hotel's website. So we had all the money covered for the hotel and our stay in Vegas. Everything was covered. We had one hiccup when we got there, though.
So we literally get in there, we get our bags, and we're like, hey, so we're here to check in. Spend all day at the airport, but happy to be in Vegas. It was like, oh, what brings you to Vegas? It's our honeymoon. It was like, awesome. We're going to bump you up, such and such. So, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, awesome. It's like, all right, so now we just need to put a card on file because it's $750 for incidentals. I said, what?
A $750 hold for incidentals.
I was like,
now,
what?
We're two young adults who have never really traveled outside of our parents.
I've been on a plane twice.
So we did not know that they were going to put a $750 hold on our card. And back then we didn't have any credit cards. $750.
And then what even made it more awesome was the fact that we got money from our wedding, but we had checks. And we also had some gift cards, but you know, what you gonna do with that? So we only had checks. And the reality is, now that we're married, everything about her and her livelihood is on me now.
Yeah.
So I remember with us being in the hotel, when he said that, I was like, $750. I ain't got $750. I don't know what we're about to do. And I'm like, okay. And she's looking at me and she's like, and she didn't say it, but her eyes were like, baby, what are we going to do, baby? What are we going to do? And I was like, man, I don't know. And my first thought, hey, man, you might need to call your dad.
It was late. We actually did call my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, are you serious? He was like, because we was like, we need somebody's credit card to put this on hold.
Yeah, I was like, I have the money. I just don't have a credit card.
Yeah.
And her dad was like...
He sounded a little disappointed, too. Like, man, my daughter didn't got married to this nigga and he can't. Like, it kind of sounded like... I don't know. My dad, it just kind of sounded a little disappointed. But you good, baby.
So, okay, cool. So, with that being said, I ended up calling my brother. I was like, hey, brother, help me.
We called everybody.
Please. I called my brother. I called one of my other friends. Everybody was like, man, I just paid this with my card, or I don't have it, or I ain't got no card, or you got to figure it out. And I sat there and I was like, oh my gosh. Now, honestly, I felt like I felt my throat starting to get a little thick. You know, I felt myself. I really felt myself, like my eyes about to start sweating. But then, light bulb, bing! Holy Spirit said, shut up.
I got this.
Breathe. I got this. And go back to the table and tell them you don't have $750 to put up for incidentals. And they said, well, you know what? If you can give us... And so
it was like one real bougie, snooty dude. And like when we left and came back, we got this other guy. Yeah. And the other guy was like...
What's that guy? I don't remember.
I remember, but it was just like... He was like, just put $100 on.
It's like, so this is what we can do. If you pay cash, then you just put $100 on. I was like, from $750
to that ATM.
to $100? But so we literally were sitting there like, all right, now we need to pay for this whole, like, we pretty much had to pay the hotel out. So it was like, all right, let's go ahead and pay it out. And literally, like, the moment I stopped panicking and said, all right, Lord, I don't know what to do. And he said, breathe, and told me what to do. We had just about, it was exact, but we had a little bit over to cover the entire hotel. And then the fact that we had checks, our next goal was, well, we need to find an ATM to deposit so I can get this money.
And we, it's so crazy because we have Bank of America, and Bank of America is awesome, but they suck in Vegas. Well, at the time.
Shoot, everything sucked in Vegas.
They had one, now this is 6 years ago.
Yeah,
they had one ATM on the strip of Vegas, and it was a cash-only ATM.
Yep. I think it was in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, so in order for us to do a deposit and deposit all of our checks, we had to maybe take a taxi or something to like outer Las Vegas, and so we couldn't even do that. Like, we should have deposited those checks before we left Atlanta.
We should have, but you know,
like I said, we were young adults in love and a little dumb.
Yeah. So we had an amazing time on the honeymoon. Honestly, like, the way that God showed up, like, we got to the hotel room, it was awesome.
Awesome.
And then even when it came to food, you know, initially we were like, yeah, we're going to go to eat at this place. We're going to go do this, go do that.
We just did fast food.
We did McDonald's, and it was the best McDonald's. I'm talking about double quarter pounders with cheese every day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the fries was like, like the salt was perfect. The apple pies were like crispy.
Breakfast was bomb.
Man, we had the best food.
And, you know, it was a great experience.
It was so organic.
Yeah. It was a great experience, I guess, especially because, like we said, we were young, inexperienced in traveling and all of that. So we learned our lesson. Now, anywhere we go, we know, honey.
We don't play that.
We don't play that, bruh.
So that's the part one.
Part one.
Just the honeymoon part. Yeah. So we did all that. It was fun. Of course, I'm fast forwarding through a lot of stuff. Doesn't really matter. A lot of pictures, you know, a lot of practicing. And, you know, after, like, once we pretty much got back on the flight to come home, so now it's like, all right, we're married.
We're married.
Had a little vacation. We're honeymoon. Yes. Oh, yes, my wife.
Back to regular life.
Back to reality. Hup, there goes gravity. Hup. So now, it was maybe,
I want to say a week after.
Yeah. Literally. Now she works. At the time, we were living in Stockbridge, which was about
25 minutes away from my job.
Yeah. So, and I work maybe like 10 minutes from where we stayed.
Yeah.
So it was on the way. Yeah. So it was on the way. So our routine was, I would drive.
We had one car.
Chevy Impala. That baby was nice. So we had one car, and I would drive after work. I mean, we'll drive to work and then pretty much park, and you'll take the car, or no, was I dropping you off?
I think you were dropping me off at that time.
I think, yeah.
You would drop me off because you would get off of work before me, because I would have later nights, you know, with the salon.
Okay.
So you would take me to work first. Yeah, I think you would take me to work. Something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something was happening, but pretty much what ended up happening.
On the way to work.
On the way to work, I just remember going into the parking lot, and I was backing the car in. She's in the car with me.
No, I thought it happened on the street.
So I just rolled in, but I backed in.
Somehow, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
On the way on Highway 138 in Stockbridge, our transmission went out.
If you ever had a transmission go out, it is not fun.
Not fun at all.
It's like driving a stick shift car, a manual transmission car, and being on a hill, like a very steep hill for the first time, and it just rolls back because you don't know how to get it in gear.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it feels like, and it wasn't fun. And I was sitting there like, oh, crap. We just spent all this money
balling out
of control in Vegas, and now I come back home and my car transmission gone.
Not that we didn't have any money, but we just didn't have no money to buy a new transmission like that.
So I just remember it was like, all right, we're going to praise God, whatever.
Now you gotta have that. You gotta tell him like.
Well, I thought that happened the second time.
The emotional moments?
Yes.
No, that happened the first time.
Okay,
we trying to figure out.
All right,
you talking about the solenoid?
Yes. The solenoid. All right, so with the transmission, I remember when it happened. The emotional part she's talking about is I had my glory moment. You know, the tear. And I remember sitting in the parking lot.
Remember Glory with Denzel with that one tear when he was getting whipped?
And he just stared.
You gotta explain that. If you've never seen Glory, you gotta watch that. It's an older movie for the younger folks that's watching this.
Yeah. So I just remember sitting in the car with her in the car, and I was like, Connor, that's us. You see my guard dog? Kill him. Kill him. Hey, I ain't no killer, but no push me.
Sit down. Be quiet.
It's okay, Connor. Nothing's going on. All right, I love you too. All right, awesome. So I remember sitting there, and when reality hit me, I was like, my wife is in the car with me. We just got back from my honeymoon, and my transmission just went out, and she has nobody to depend on but me.
I gotta get to work.
And she has to get to work.
We got one car.
And we still have to get back home and everything else. Man, that thing said.
And just seeing him, like my husband, cry, I was like, no. Inside, I was like, no.
Man,
but
I was broken.
One thing that's so amazing about God is that whenever one person is feeling a certain way, the other person, I don't know, it just works out that we're strong. So in that moment of his, I guess, sadness and like disappointment maybe in himself and all those different emotions that's going on in his head, like my mind was clear and like Holy Spirit, God was talking to me like, okay, one, comfort him and assure him that everything's gonna be okay and that I got y'all. I will never leave you nor forsake you, and I never have and I never will. So I comforted him and I was like, babe, we got this, blah blah blah. We're going to figure this out. The great thing was that when we decided to, get our first place, because we got our first place after we got married, we stayed in the area close to our parents. So his mom was maybe 15 minutes away from us, and my parents were about 15, 20 minutes away from us as well. And at the time, my mom worked about 10 minutes away from me. So I called my mom. And I said, okay, Mom, this is what happened. Our transmission just went out. We're going to figure this out. We got to get it to the shop to see what happened and how much it's going to be. Can you take me to work? My mom, see the G, she was like, I got you. So she came pick me up from his job, took me to work, and she also took me back home, too.
Yeah.
And then, one of his friends from work took him back home.
And then the other awesome part was, once the tears and the hurt and everything was gone, so I called pretty much the shop that I was taking my car to. We got it towed. I think it was like $50 to tow it. Oh no, they towed for free.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool.
So they was like, we'll come get the car. They came picked it up, and hey man, they were a godsend because they picked up my car, and and pretty much looked it over, whatever, and was like, hey, if you wanna, you get a brand new transmission or a rebuilt one, it'll be X amount. And I was like, hey man, I just got married, blah blah blah. And then when God was like, chill out and shut up, and I stopped panicking, I looked and was like, okay, we have it.
It was like $800.
Yeah, it was just gonna be like 8 something. So
we thought it was gonna be like $1,500, because I think you had called your brother and like some other people was like, man, that might be a lot, like $2,000. Yeah.
So when they told me that price, I was like, what? And then the other awesome part, they allowed me to pay not really payments, half? But I paid half up front, and then I just let them know I was gonna pay the other half, let's say 2 weeks later. So the car was fixed, and I just paid.
I don't think it was a full 2 weeks though.
No, but I'm just saying they let me pay after is what I'm saying. After, it wasn't like you can't get your car. That's why I'm like, they were for real a guy.
Yeah, because I feel like we got our car we didn't go without a car more than a week or maybe more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, so So that happened, right? Now this is
got it fixed.
Now we just got married October. This happened
November,
like beginning of November. So then I remember driving or something one day, and I just remember something happened to where I think I was backing up. This may have been when I was backing the car up. I'm backing the car up. I was like, oh man, I'm not straight. So I backed it up, and I pulled straight again, and I'm going to back up. And when I'm hitting the gas to pull forward, it's rolling back.
Yeah.
Again. I was like,
the transmission is
again, man. I lost it, man. I'm talking about, it was like maybe 3 weeks, and I was like,
didn't they have a warranty on it?
Yeah, it was a warranty. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That was God.
And I pretty much was like, hey, it's such and such, blah, 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 I messed up. It was like, well, we'll come pick it up. Same thing. Came, picked it up, fixed it. I was like, praise
But in that process,
God.
Wasn't it the lock solenoid?
No, I think, because I remember us getting it fixed again. That, I think, was another one right after.
Y'all.
So this was all, like, that was November. December, something happened again. And I was like, what kind of transmission they don't put in my car? This thing just keep on messing. I'm sitting there about to spaz and take it to them, and come to find out it was a thing called a lock-up solenoid.
That's not exactly how it is, but it's an Asian lady
lock up solenoid.
Yeah.
It was a solenoid. If you know something about cars, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know nothing about cars, so I just remember the way she said, it's a lock up solenoid. A lock up solenoid.
That's how she sound. We're not making fun of her.
I'm not making fun of her.
She was the homie, dude.
Joanne,
like,
if you watching
homie.
this, the truth, bruh.
Like, for real. Like, they took care of that car. And then after a while, like, we put so much money in that car. And after a while, she was like, don't y'all want to get a new car?
Like, y'all still have this car? I'm like, shut up. I love this car. So, but it was pretty much the lock-up solenoid. And that was like another maybe $600-700 or something like that. I'm like,
is it that much?
Yeah. I was like, man, I ain't got that kind of money. I'm like, man, we just moved in.
We just got married. We trying to have marital bliss. We had friends talking about, like, we going on trips and stuff like that.
And asking me, like, hey, we're going to go on this couples trip. We're going to go here.
And I'm
y'all
like,
want to come? It's only this. I was like,
I mean, y'all got it, but we don't. And we ain't charging it to no credit card either. So yeah, it was a lot. But, man, God is good. Because I felt like we grew from it.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't let that pressure get to us and our relationship.
Yeah, not our relationship.
No.
It got to me.
Yeah,
definitely.
we had our tears. I cried. Trust me.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing that she said. And I will never ever forget this. Like, of course, in the middle of all that other stuff, I was trying to work extra overtime and whatever. And she said to me, "Babe, we don't need more money. We just need to trust God. I need you to trust God." I was like, but God can't let none of this stuff happen to me. I just got married and had my car. I'm feeling all those emotions. And she's like, just trust God. So eventually I was like, all right, I got to trust God. But because this stuff kept happening, at the end of the year, I got hit with the realest. And this is for anybody out there. I believe that this will really help you. What I realized was each time that something happened, it had to be something to happen before I say, all right, God, I trust you. And what God was showing me was you don't have to wait until something happens to trust me. Just trust me that I have you regardless if something happens. Mm-hmm. So when I changed that focus and I started to see, man, I realized that when everything was going good, I only depended on me. I didn't think about God. I was only like, I got this. But the moment all hell broke loose, God, I need you. Lord, I need you. And I automatically reverted to what I knew. God, I need you. I can't do it. And what God was showing me was, I want you to live there. To stay at that place that you know you can't do it. Stay at that place where you know that you need me for everything. And the moment I started to live there is the moment that I started to see that everything was taken care of. Because I know that you can attest to this. We definitely attest to this, that anytime we needed anything, we filled up with panic first. Right after all the panic was gone, then we sat back and was like, what am I going to do? And it got real quiet. And it was like, all right, I don't know what to do, so God. And then next thing you know, everything just starts working out.
Yep.
The moment we start taking our eyes off of it, the moment we stop trying to figure it out, the moment we let go and say, I'm at the end of all my options and I can only trust God, then everything started to work out. So for us, even though we were young, thought we knew it all, married, we quickly saw that nothing that we're going through, number one, is impossible for God, but nothing that we're even going through is for us to take on for ourselves. So, young and broke, but trusted God.
Trusted God. So that's our story time. That first year of marriage for us, it was awesome, but we had certain tests like physically happen that really tested us spiritually and really taught us, like he said, to trust God even more. So now in our marriage, when certain things face us, like I know, if you've been keeping up with our Vlogmas, we talked about our dryer going out, and rock hitting our windshield. So because we went through certain things early on in our marriage and our reaction towards it and God teaching us certain things, when things happen now, my dryer went out. I'm like,
God got it.
God got it.
Your dryer went out.
Yeah, he has different resources and different things set up for us. So instead of immediately panicking, just sit and just be like, okay, Lord, how do you want me to deal with this? And with us acting towards that, we have had so much favor, finances, people wanting to bless us, just different things coming our way because our reaction was different.
Yep.
So.
And automatically being thankful. Like, it doesn't matter what you're going through.
Yes,
there's something to be thankful for. So, yeah, the locked up solenoid went out. But you know what? She had a way to work, and I had a way back home from work.
Mm-hmm.
And
we were never without.
Never. We always had something. You know what? We didn't have no food. Hey, I worked at Chick-fil-A. Babe, what you want? You want a chicken sandwich, grilled or fried?
Chicken sandwich, grilled or fried. Can you sneak me a salad? I
didn't really have to sneak, but, I can, I blessed her.
Yeah.
My manager loved me. Let me just say
we had a lot of favor. So,
favor.
We had a lot of gift cards from our wedding.
Man.
Target. That's when we really started shopping at Target. Because we were Walmart kids at first.
Walmart and Kroger.
But Target, man.
All them gift cards, and that's the thing, our car may have messed up, but we found a way to be thankful. It's like, you know what? Our car might be messed up right now, but we just got it fixed. Yeah. We might not have no money right now, but we got gift cards. So we literally had grocery for
months.
The whole rest of the year we had groceries. We also had gas.
Yep.
So how can you do that? How? Sway? How?
So yeah, guys. We hope you liked this story time. We have a lot more coming. A lot. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And also share your broke experiences down in the comments below.
We know we're not the only one.
We ain't the only one.
Some of y'all been broke and dumb too.
Yep. And it's young and all of that.
We learn from each other.
Yes.
We can grow from each other. We need each other. We are family.
I don't know. All right, guys. Love you. We will see you in our next video.